Good morning, everybody. Jeremy here. I just wanted to show you guys this sweet 66 Chrysler New Yorker that we picked up. I think we're going to get this thing running and just yard driving and sell it. So if any of y'all are looking for something kind of fun and different, and a land yacht, because this thing's huge, this is going to be available. It does have a 440 in it. Very little rust. I'll show you some more video of that later, of the trunk floor and everything. Does have its rear skirts. The fender up front is off of a different car, so it's just a little different color, but I'm gonna get that bolted on. It's got a few dinks and dents, but this thing is awesome. And one of the coolest things about it is the dash. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. More character in it than any modern Honda Civic. I mean, look at that thing. Needs cleaned up, but I could let that stare at me in the face all day. It's power windows, and something I think super cool. Let's check out the window, the wing window. It runs off of a crank instead of having a little latch, and it works pretty smooth. On that, check out how nice this door shuts. Look at that. One try, didn't even slam it. This car has been off the road for a long time. There's an Oregonian newspaper from Thursday, January 22nd, 1985. So that's kind of cool. Definitely needs a headliner and definitely needs some love. There's the other trim that goes on the fender. I mean, overall, it's a pretty complete car. Like I said, it has a 440 in it. I'm gonna get it fired up, get the car to yard drive. Then somebody can buy it. So anyway, watch for it to be for sale. I'll let y'all know on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and obviously here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So we have it in to vacuum it out, clean it up, and then we're gonna pressure wash it. But as I said in the first video, this thing is solid. I mean, look at that floor. It's like that all the way underneath. There's all the missing trim pieces. You've even got the emblems for the roof right there. And this car has serious potential, and it has been parked since 1985. And all those newspapers, we were kind of looking through them. It's pretty interesting. I think we're gonna leave them with the car just because they're really cool. But we are gonna clean it all up. The interior is really not that bad, other than it's just filthy and the headliner's all falling in. There's a little bit of cracking right here. Like I said, big old 440 right there. So hopefully this will be getting fired up and running here shortly. So this is really just a gorgeous car. So getting ready to do some work on the New Yorker, and noticed that it's missing the battery tray a while back. Decided to come out to Derbyville and look and see if we have anything. And we found a 69 Chrysler 300 over here that's just, it's completely destroyed. Look at all these snapper wagons. Derby guys love those babies. I'm hoping that I can talk my boss into letting me save one and get all the cool parts off of all the others and put it on one. But that's a story for a different day. Anyway, hoping the 69 Chrysler 300 has some parts we can use. But as you can see, it is literally at the very back. And there's a lot of stuff we'd have to move. So, beans that not only do we have the scrap yard and the salvage yard, but also a construction company, we've got a crane backing up. We're gonna actually just pluck this car right out with the crane, so that'll be kind of fun. Hoping that there's a fuel tank under it that might work as well. It's very unfortunate that this car is completely destroyed, and this was previous Derby guys. This was a beautiful car, 69 Chrysler 300, two-door hardtop in turquoise with a white bucket seat interior. I mean, this car would have just been stunning. Does still have the 440 in it. Unfortunately, I shut the hood tight, and now I can't get it back open, but we'll get that all figured out. Anyway, maybe later on, I'll walk you around the yard here. There's more out there. There's probably 200 or better cars here that are for derbies, and some of them, I'll admit, it's pretty sad. There's some really sweet Cadillacs, and I'm hoping that I can save one of those in the future as well. Anyway, we're getting ready to hook this up, and I'll get some video of us lifting it over the fence. It's like a Hot Wheels toy. Way too bad that that car is destroyed, because beautiful color combo. The 69 Chrysler 300 is actually my favorite C-body. Always has been. I had a green on green one when I was 18, and that was my daily driver. I loved it. That car would have been so much more beautiful than my green on green one, but there's not a straight anything on it. So hopefully we can use it to save some other stuff. Well, guess I better wander over so I can unhook it. We have the 69 up in the air to pull the gas tank and hopefully make it work. Also going to pull some other parts. So it's been a little bit since I was actually able to work on this car. I was hoping to have it running like 2 weeks ago. Just had a whole bunch of other things come up that I had to take care of. But today I'm going to work on it. This is the 66 Chrysler New Yorker. Already picked up a whole bunch of parts. Hopefully it's not in vain. But I do know I've got to get a battery tray. I was told the one in the 69 Chrysler 300 will not work. So I'm going to walk back here to Derbyville and look at another car we have back here and see if I think it might work. You can see it's missing here, so got to find one that's going to fit in that spot. Otherwise, it looks like it's fairly complete, at least complete enough to start it. It does turn over by hand, but we'll get a battery in there. I'm going to go ahead and do a tune-up and everything since I've already got everything. But first things first, let's take a walk back to Derbyville. So this is Derbyville. You guys briefly seen it when we plucked the 69 300 out of here with a crane. Right now I am working on getting clear back over there. There's a 66 or 7 Fury wagon. I'm hoping it has a battery tray that might work. It looks like it's almost a clear path back. So there's some pretty cool cars here. I mentioned the black Cadillac the other day, or earlier in the video. It's right there. I would really like to get that car out and save it. Generally, I would never walk across the hood of cars, but almost don't have a choice here, and these cars are all derby cars, so let's see what we got. And that battery tray looks way closer than the 69s. Now it's just a matter of figuring out how to actually pluck it from the car. It doesn't look like it'll be too bad as long as the nuts are not rusted up. So sitting right there, that bush is basically covering a 65 Impala Super Sport. So there are a couple cars out here that probably won't be derby cars, but who knows. I don't think that one will be. I think we'll end up selling that one as a project car. But a lot of cool cars out here. Okay, so I got that off of the Fury, and now we're going to put the battery tray in here and get it mounted, and then start playing with a few other things. The brakes don't work on it, so I think I'm going to just put some fluid in and see if I can get it to gravity feed a little bit. Whether that will work or not, I don't know, but we can always try. Also want to pour some coolant in it, put the cap on it, and then we're going to see if we can get this thing to crank over. This battery tray fits perfect. I love it when things come together. This really is a super cool car. Yay, now we can accept the battery. Even have a sweet little rubber mat to put in there. Also donated from the Fury. Now let's see what it's going to take to open this up. Looks like 7/16. Needs a little bit of persuasion, which happens after sitting for who knows how many years. And you guys might laugh at me if I'm doing this wrong. I honestly haven't worked on many 60s cars, mostly 70s. That sure doesn't want to come off. There we go. Smells awesome in there. Well, so it's actually got fluid in it, so not sure where the problem will be then, the reason they don't work. I'm going to go ahead and just top it off though. See if that does anything. I can go give it a couple pumps just for fun. Actually felt the pedal change a little bit there towards the end, so we might get something, who knows. If not, we'll have to tear them all apart or something, or somebody will. Next thing, I'm going to just throw some coolant in. I don't have a lot with me, but we're going to try and make sure it doesn't just leak right out the bottom. Well, that actually filled it up, which means it still had some in it, and I don't see anything leaking. Well, that's good news. Never hurts to have good news. See if the radiator cap works. Went on there and sealed, so that's good. Well, I am going to go find a battery, so then we can hook it up and crank it over anyway, see what it does. I'm going to assume that there's been spark issue by the looks of a few things, so we'll probably just jump it. We'll see. It's like the vacuum advance hose is way too short. Also, I want to unhook the fuel line from the tank before we do anything. The good news is that's already done, so don't have to worry about sucking old fuel. Not that I think the tank that's in it would hold anything. I am interested to know what this weird piece on the fuel or on the carb intake is. I think we might just bypass all that, and just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I have no idea what that thing is, other than some sort of filter, or I don't know. It's a little weird. You can see it's already disconnected down there. So it's pretty dirty up top. I think I might take the carburetor off and clean it. Just spray it down good with some carb cleaner before we try to start it. I do want to see if it will crank with the battery. So I'm going to go ahead and go get a battery. So here's what I'm robbing the battery out of. You guys have seen part 1 of this. Part 2 will be coming. We're putting a new clutch and everything in it. We just ran out of time when we started the other day. So that's going to be a really cool truck. So watch for part 2 coming up. Hopefully next weekend we're going to be able to finish this and have it on the road. And there's my jump cable that I was looking for, and we're going to use on the New Yorker. Always good to find the parts you're missing, or tools, whatever you want to call that. So I'm going to set the battery in it, and then I'm just going to bump it over with the key just to see what it does, and then go from there. Always been surprised at how small gauge Chrysler battery cables are. Most of the time, that's about the first thing I do is change it. Wow, definitely won't start like that. So it's like that's number 1, which is good because then we're going to know where number 1 is on the distributor. And then just a reminder, big blocks rotate counterclockwise, or the small blocks rotate clockwise. And Mopars, and I believe most Chevys, are all 1-8-4-3-6-5-7-2. Anyway, I've got this connected. I'm just for fun going to bump it over with the key and see if it does anything. So lights come on the dash, but not getting any crank, which means the starter may be bad. Well, it cranks, so that's good news. Doesn't sound bad. Slow crank, but big blocks a lot of times don't crank over really fast. Plus, I don't have a real high CCA battery, so but we're gonna just have fun anyway and see what it does. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery while we do work on it. Excuse me. Actually, the points look new in it, so I think someone was definitely having some sort of electrical issues. Good possibility of why it was parked. There we go. So they had one kind of in a weird place, but guess we'll find out. So generally, I go with champion plugs. That is what Chrysler used originally. I'm just going to go with these AC Delco ones today. So the spark plugs should be gapped like 035, 030. Different sources say different things. And when you put new plugs in, don't use the socket to thread them in. Or let me rephrase that. Don't use the ratchet. Just try to thread them in at least a few turns just by hand. So the plugs don't look terrible. It's like the kickdown's all been disconnected. Always makes you wonder why certain things have been done on cars when they sit for a long time. What the story is. It's kind of crazy working here at this yard too. Just see these cars that get crushed. You realize that at some point in time, someone loved that car. Someone walked into a dealership and they chose that car. Every one of them was loved at some point, to one extent or another. Can't get that plug wire off. There we go. I don't know how anything would run with these plug wires. They are bad. These big blocks, even in a big car like this, a relatively tight space to do a tune-up and get plugs in them. I think the later C-bodies are even worse. They have like access panels. You also want to be really careful not to cross-thread spark plugs. So then it gets really, really painful. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm actually not even sure how you get to that back one on this side. So I just want to do a little tech tip real quick for tight spaces on spark plugs. As you can see, this one here, there's barely enough room to even get a socket on there, let alone a socket with even a wobble or anything. And if you had one on there, you wouldn't be able to turn it out. If you use just a regular socket, there's nothing there you can use to crank on. So that's why the spark plug sockets have this hex. Now, another thing also to note, I take the rubber pieces out of my spark plug sockets because it's a real pain in the butt to get back off the spark plug in those tight spots, such as the one on the other side that I just did. It was a real pain, and I should have showed you, which is that back one, which the steering knuckle is right at the plug, and so it was a real nightmare. So on this one, there's a little more room than the other side actually. So what you do, you put the socket on like so, and then you use a 7/8 wrench, put it on, and then just break it loose. Once you break it loose, you should be able to turn it out by hand a little ways, and then basically kind of the same way when you put it back in, you just put the plug in, put the socket on, and then tighten it up with the wrench. So most people know that, but a lot of people don't. Anyway, got the plug out. Okay, so I've got the plugs in, the wires ran. There's a couple things I need to go get. It's not getting spark. I just checked that even when I jumped the solenoid. So I think the points are bad. So I need to get some points, possibly another coil, and a few other things. I really was hoping to have it started up today, but that's just not going to happen. I've got a couple other things I have to do this afternoon. So I'm going to actually end this episode, and we'll do a part 2 a little bit later on where I actually get it running, and we'll go for a little drive, hopefully. That is if the brakes work and transmission, obviously, but that's the plan. Like I said before, this car is super cool. I can't wait to get it going and get it to somebody that's going to love it. This car was saved from Derby guys, and let's keep it that way. Let's save some too. This interior is just gorgeous. I can't wait to get it all detailed. I'm going to have the boy do that. Someone's going to have a lot of fun with this car. Anyway, like I said, I need to end this episode. I'll get it posted, and then we'll work on this here in the future. I've got a couple other episodes that I've been working on. I've got tomorrow, we're going to go look at another yard, a whole yard, supposedly 900 cars. I don't know if there's really that many, but we're looking at buying the whole yard. Lots of old stuff. So watch for some footage of that. We're going to have a lot of fun. And guys, like and subscribe, please. Give me your feedback. I really want to know how to make this channel better so that you guys enjoy it, that I enjoy it. This channel is for you guys just as much as it is for me. I'm enjoying doing this. I've got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to learn on how to make it better. So any input you guys can offer will help. Also follow on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All of it is Shade Tree Vintage Auto. Little pictures and stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Other little videos of what I'm doing in the moment on TikTok. Anyway, lots of cool stuff in the future. I posted a picture the other day of a Charger on Facebook. It's a 67 Dodge Charger, and it's a 426 Hemi 4-speed car. Real J-code car, real 4-speed, real Dana. And the owner is a good friend of mine. He's gonna let us throw it together on this channel. So watch for that next year. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, like and subscribe, and please give me your input on what I can do to make this channel better. I've been working on sound quality. I've got a couple different things that I'm trying to hopefully make it better. That's been the #1 thing people have said so far, and that's what I'm going to work on. Also, I'm really looking at some Ford and GM stuff. Hopefully that will pan out here soon. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.